Growing up with Tony was great. I mean, there were 7 children in our family. And although I had a sister who was older than Tony, Tony was in charge of the family. He was in charge of the kids. He was the one who you went to if you had any kind of a problem or if you had any good news or anything to share. He was just really the best of brothers you could have. He was always there for you. He is one of the most giving people I ever met, and there was never anything you couldn't bring to Anthony. So he was really the best older brother you could have.
Tony comes from a very large, loving Italian family, and his mother and father worked very hard and made true sacrifices in order to provide a Jesuit education for both Tony and his brother Vic, and I don't think that was ever lost on him. He's always had this great sense of duty to give back. He's never forgotten the sacrifices that his mother and father made to provide him an education, and he wants other people to have the benefits of that Jesuit education that has meant so much to him and has been so formative in his life. I mean, when you talk about being a man for others, that fits Tony to a T.
So when I think of Tony, the first thing that comes to mind is the prayer for generosity and the line, give and not to count the cost. He, over the years, has become one of our most reliable and loyal volunteers as a member of the Alumni Council. As a volunteer to the school, Tony has really done a little bit of everything. He was critical in the alumni tailgates at all of the home football games. Him and his brother Vic really ran those starting in 2013. All the home football games, regardless of the venue, regardless of the weather, Tony was there with his setup. And that event has really become one of the signature events for our Alumni Association. The crowds are huge now. It's really something that our community can't miss before our home football games.
He was on the executive committee for quite a while. He was even the president of the Alumni Council. He volunteers a lot. He worked at the soup kitchen, the library, done a lot of the rehab projects where they would go to people's homes and fix their houses, clean their yards. He was instrumental in getting the alumni tailgate started. Put it together slowly at first, and now it's really grown to something that I think is great because it's part of the parents' tailgate committee, but there's that presence there from the school that they wanted, and I think it's worked out great. And it's a lot of time and effort for him on doing that because I think he single-handedly, he buys the food, he packs the truck, he gets the crew there, he cooks the food. But it's been great. It's been great for the people on the tailgate committee, and I think it's been great for the school to have that presence there.
People love those tailgates, but we often take it for granted. Those don't happen overnight, and Tony puts in hours and hours of preparation with his brother Vic to make sure that those tailgates go forward, and they're a great event for the alumni, for their children, increase that school spirit that's so prevalent with this school over any other school that I know about.
For decades, he has served the Saint Ignatius community. This campus, the people, the alumni. If you talk to anybody, guess who I saw this weekend? Tony Anselmo. Yeah, how did you know? Well, because he was there, for all the alumni events. But I think even beyond that, what he's done for Cleveland and in a professional level, the amount of people that he mentored, the amount of people that he was there for personally, professionally. If you look at the Tony Anselmo tree of business in Cleveland and all of these professionals, essentially thousands of people that he's helped over his career, and just being there for them, and being a servant leader, and what's really important in life and what's really important in business, Tony's always been about relationships. And I think that has just created so many other leaders that, people that have been far beyond, his reach at Ignatius and just in his professional level as well.
While Tony was an executive at Key Bank, there was a management training program, and he had put a lot of students that had graduated from here through that program. It was instrumental in a lot of their lives. They went on to be very successful, and these students still stay in touch with him today and are still very close friends with him.
I mean, he is empowering. He sacrifices his time, his efforts, and everything to empower other people, to make them feel good, to be there for them. And when you walk out of a meeting with Tony, you're ready to go tackle the world because you now have clear vision, you now have clear goals. And he does that all with his time, with his effort, with his support. because he's constantly servicing others, even if it is on a golf course or in a business meeting or at St. Ignatius events. He is just somebody, when you leave his presence, you feel motivated and you feel empowered to do the right thing.
St. Ignatius has been so instrumental in my growth, just transformational. My freshman year to my sophomore year. Freshman year out of control, sophomore year locked in. It's provided me in my life, in my career, to be able to put together and form organizations and form business models. I don't know that I would have had it had I not come to St. Ignatius.